Welcome back, student, to this lecture 3C. And earlier we saw visualization plots, and in this we will see that how the interpretable model were there before deep learning came up. And we will see that from probability to decision tree, how the previous kind of models were there which were interpretable. Now some models are been designed that they are explainable by nature. For example, if we see the models like decision tree, it is like age more than 30, income more than 50, then loan is approved. If a student and age is more than 30, then if more than 30, then no, less than 30, yes. So this way you can see the rules are visible. So decision trees are by design, it is more interpretable. Next comes the Naïve Bayes, which is using the probability, the rules or things are visible. Like next we will see the Naïve Bayes, that how the using the Naïve theorem theory we can, this is an example of email classification between spam and not spam is there. Here the prediction can understand through the probability and likelihood of a particular feature. Then the next comes the model called random forest, where these are been decision trees are there, but many trees are working together so that we can identify which of the feature are matters the most. While deep learning is very powerful, but since the complexity of the model increases, so that it becoming less interpretable. So let's see them one by one. That so far we saw graphical representation, but not only that, to understand something you need a graph or you need a plot. Sometimes numerical data can also be meaningful. So non-graphical explanation can give a lot of detail. For example, a mean of the data, the median of the data, the variance of the data, the p-value, the confidence score, the feature importance, all this can be probability score is a number, but they can also be explainable. A decision rule, you don't need a decision tree all the time. For example, rule like if score more than 0.7, then approve the loan, otherwise don't approve the loan. So simple rule can also be written as a text, can also be explainable. So it's not that always you need a visual model for explanation. Sometimes non-visual models are also be as good as explaining for certain domain and certain cases. Next comes the feature importance. You know, the which feature importance means which variable in the input led to the prediction model to predict something or to decide something. For example, this is an example of loan risk model. So from this data we can see that debt to income ratio has higher importance score. So that is the primary factor in deciding the loan approval and not approval. So this can give a benefit, what feature importance. So we can understand the things are going just from the what feature is more useful. Next comes the what is the feature importance in the random forest. So in a random forest, different features have been made like a model. Now feature importance are computing here that by averaging how much each feature is contributing. So here the features are credit score, debt to income ratio, income and age. So what we see from this importance is 0.32. So the credit score is has a higher impact on influencing the decision of loan approval and not approval in terms of this model based on the random forest. But there are limitation of feature importance. It's not that always useful. Sometimes the feature importance does not tell the cause of something happening. Like feature can be important. It says it, like earlier we saw debt to income ratio or credit score. So feature can be important, but it is not giving the reason what causing the outcome. So for example, if a zip code is there, you know, zip code may be important for loan approval, but a particular zip code may not be the indicator that the person from that particular zip code is good in repaying the loan. Now, feature importance can also be misleading in telling the fairness, whether the model is relying a lot on gender and race and giving the discriminative behavior, the correctness, the means based on the feature it might be giving the outcome, but what if the features are only spurious patterns are there and it is giving decision on that, it is not able to give the local reasoning. Since it is trained on the historical data, it can have the hidden bias. So you have to find the importance of feature into case to case basis, whether this is giving the fair means, and you have to use the feature importance more responsibly depending on that. Next comes the approach called Naïve Bayes. So in Naïve Bayes, what typically is done using the Bayes theory, and the naive word says assumption is that the features are conditionally independent from each other. Means that if we are doing it applying the Naïve Bayes, the baseline assumption is that the feature which we are using it, they are not they are conditionally independent. So if we are using the features which are correlated or conditionally dependent, then let's say we are using our data, someone is going to vote for this party or that party, and we have the population data. Now someone who can vote, he or she must be more than 18 years old for many countries. Now we pass the data without putting the that kind of correlated data which are not independent, then applying Naïve Bayes can give an incorrect result. So Naïve Bayes is a very simple way. So here what it is written that P of C by X means probability of class C for a given feature X is equal to likelihood of feature X. So this is the likelihood of feature X for a given class C, and then prior probability of class C, it is multiplied by and divided by overall probability of feature X. So this is a very simple equation. So this kind of Naïve Bayes approach can be applied for detecting spam. It has been applied in many applications, many domains, but here example is on detecting spam or not spam. So the email came and one has to identify whether it is spam or not spam. So in the email some word were there, free winner offer. So this free winner offer because of the data like spam or not spam, the probability, prior probability, likelihood probability, then using the Bayes theorem it predicted to be a spam. Okay. So this is an example. Then if we take the Naïve Bayes, what is the intuition behind it? So Naïve Bayes gives the intuition where we can put words into probability. Means the name Dilip can be converted into probability, and this probability can be used to do prediction. So model is observing feature as an input, and then applying the Naïve Bayes theory, it did the prediction. So intuition has been used that the content in the text is conditionally independent, and that is helping to do this spam filtering mechanism using Naïve Bayes. Next kind of approach is decision tree. So decision tree is very much this example of health risk assessment decision tree. Someone is more than age 50 and having the yes, does the person has high cholesterol? Yes, the risk of disease is higher, the patient is more risky. If person age is less than 50, blood pressure is not high, then it is a low risk health condition. So just this decision tree is helping to do the activity and do the explanation, and each node is asking the question yes and no, and with that we are getting a highly interpretable model to do interpretation. Now the question comes that why decision trees are interpretable. Now decision trees are interpretable, you can see that each decision is a rule. If more than 50 yes and no, and path we can follow step by step, like if more than 50 age, then the person has high cholesterol, yes or no. Then features are visible, we know that the cholesterol, the age, blood pressure features are there, and we can trace the prediction, that what pathway led to the prediction. So that's why the decision trees are very interpretable approach. Now we know that decision trees are interpretable. So now decision tree is interpretable, is highly interpretable. But if the domain become complex, the model become complex, then the accuracy of decision tree start reducing. While deep neural network can give a high accuracy for a more complex kind of problem statement and data, but the interpretability is very low. So there are when to choose what kind of technique, like decision trees can be chosen when we need a very high transparency and accountabilities are critical. But if we have to use a deep neural network to maximize the accuracy, then the limitation of this can be overcome by using external approach for explaining the deep learning, for example the SHAP method or LIME method or saliency map. So decision tree inherently designed to be interpretable, while deep learning is not inherently designed to be interpretable. It is designed to be more accurate, but to make this more interpretable, to add fairness to transparency, the external techniques can be used. So you see that we just saw that decision tree, Naïve Bayes approach, random forest, these techniques we saw, which are classical AI models before deep learning came up or modern AI came up. Now this classical model helps in giving usefulness to the modern explainable AI method, like feature importance has been used for decision tree, random forest and linear model as a coefficient there. The rule extraction got its place in the decision tree. Probability explanation to explain the model using Naïve Bayes logistic regression. There can be a simple model combining multiple model can be used to explain the complex model. Then the local explanation we were doing, then later on that gave rise to the LIME, locally weighted linear models, rule-based neighborhood models, and then the classical model visualization technique also became inspiration to visualize the modern models. So what we saw that from interpretable models, from the history of AI, we see that from interpretable model, initially we started AI as an interpretable model, but later on we turned into the black box model. But what we got usefulness is the feature got its integration. What typically happening is that we were designing the feature before, but in classical ML, we were designing the feature before in classical ML, and later on the feature was getting learned automatically. The rules we are able to expect, but the rules are getting hidden inside the deep learning. The probabilities was explainable, but then is hard to explain after deep learning. And in classical ML, we are able to inspect it, is a high transparency was there. But in the modern deep learning, which became a black box, the transparency reduces. So in a nutshell, what we can do for different kind of things. So Modern interpretability has historical roots. For example, a statistical tool like regression, p-value, confidence interval, uh, which has which has a style of explaining, like it can explain the relationship, uncertainty very well. Visualization tools or techniques like heat map, box plot, scatter plot can explain the pattern visually very well. Then the classical machine learning approach like naive Bayes, random forest, decision tree can explain the feature probability and the rules easily. So now question comes, what is you should be using it, right? So modern explainable AI builds on all three of them, uh, both on visualization techniques and classic ML and the statistical approaches. So the takeaway is classic ML gave away many interpretable tools, but deep learning created the new kind of challenges, and so by it improves the accuracy, but a more challenge has been introduced. So now question comes that which model explanation feel more understandable to you? Was it a feature importance, naive Bayes, or a decision tree? So stay tuned for my next lecture, lecture 4, and I will say thank you. If you like or want to comment or share, please share with your friends if you find that it can be useful for them. Any question, put in the comment section. I will try to answer it.